How to store cupcakes. Under the right conditions, you can store cupcakes at room temperature, in the refrigerator, or in the freezer. You can also store both unfrosted and frosted cupcakes, but the process may vary slightly depending on the storage method you use. Steps. 1. Let the cupcakes cool. Allow the cupcakes to cool completely before storing them. In most cases, this will take around 30 minutes once you remove the cupcakes from the baking pan. Cooling the cupcakes should help prevent them from releasing moisture and becoming sticky during storage. Moreover, if you intend to frost the cupcakes before storing them, it will be easier to frost them after they've cooled. 2. Decide when to frost the cupcakes. It's easiest to store unfrosted cupcakes, but you can store frosted cupcakes with some restrictions. Cupcakes with creamy frostings and no fillings can usually be stored using any method. Cupcakes with buttercream, cream cheese, or ganache frostings must be refrigerated or frozen due to health concerns. The same is true of cupcakes with fillings that contain dairy or eggs, creams and custards. Cupcakes with whipped cream frostings can only be refrigerated. Do not store them at room temperature or in the freezer. Cupcakes with fluffy frosting should be served the same day. The frosting will lose some of its integrity if you attempt to store it. 3. Avoid other edible decorations. When possible, do not decorate cupcakes with edible gel, hard candies, sprinkles, or colored sugars prior to freezer storage. The colors of these decorations may run when you thaw the cupcakes. Moreover, the texture of sprinkles and other candies may soften during storage. You should, however, be able to apply these decorations if you intend to store the cupcakes at room temperature or in your refrigerator. Method 1. Room temperature storage. 1. Place the cupcakes in an airtight container. Place both frosted and unfrosted cupcakes in airtight containers. Avoid stacking the cupcakes. Space them apart with enough room for you to reach in and remove them later. Use tall containers for frosted cupcakes to avoid upsetting the frosting. Do not wrap unfrosted cupcakes in plastic wrap. When storing them at room temperature, moisture can build up in between the wrap and the top of the cake. As a result, the tops will be sticky and difficult to frost later on. 2. Choose a good location. Instead of leaving the cupcakes on your countertop, place the sealed containers in your pantry or in another covered location free of sunlight. During the hot and humid summer months, you may also need to find a relatively cool area, like a basement pantry. Humidity and sunlight can heat up the container and the cupcakes, causing the cakes to sweat moisture and become sticky or soggy around the edges. 3. Store for 1 to 2 days. Place the cupcakes in your chosen location and use within 1 or 2 days. After that time, the cupcakes will start turning stale. Note that cupcakes decorated with fresh fruit should be consumed within 1 day when stored at room temperature. Method 2. Refrigerated storage. 1. Wrap unfrosted cupcakes. Wrap unfrosted cupcakes in plastic wrap or aluminum foil. You can store unfrosted cupcakes in airtight containers if desired, but the plastic wrap will make it easier for the cake to retain moisture. This is important since the process of refrigeration tends to draw moisture out of food. 2. Place frosted cupcakes in airtight containers. Arrange frosted cupcakes in airtight containers. Choose containers that are tall enough to accommodate the height of the frosting. Leave enough space in between the cupcakes for you to comfortably reach in and grab them. If the frosting reaches above the height of the container, cover the container with aluminum foil instead of the lid. Tent the foil so that it clears the height of the frosting. 3. Store for up to 1 week. Place the cupcakes in your refrigerator and store them for 2 to 7 days. Unfrosted cupcakes should be able to last for 7 days inside the refrigerator. Most frosted cupcakes last for 2 to 4 days in the refrigerator. Those decorated with whipped cream or fresh fruit are best when eaten within 2 days, though. 4. Drop the cupcakes to room temperature when ready. Roughly 20 minutes before you plan to serve the cupcakes, bring them out of the refrigerator and let them drop down to room temperature. This isn't strictly necessary since you can eat a chilled cupcake, but the texture of the frosting might seem unnaturally stiff if you eat it directly out of the refrigerator. Method 3. Freezer storage. 1. Wrap unfrosted cupcakes in plastic wrap. Wrap each individual cupcake in plastic wrap, then place several wrapped cupcakes into an airtight plastic freezer bag. The double layer of protection should help reduce moisture loss while protecting the cupcakes from freezer burn. Moreover, wrapping them individually before storing them together allows you to thaw whatever amount you need rather than forcing you to thaw the entire batch. 2. Place frosted cupcakes in an airtight container. Arrange frosted cupcakes in an airtight, freezer-safe plastic container. An airtight container is vital, otherwise, the cakes and the frosting may develop freezer burn. If you'd rather use plastic wrap than plastic containers, you can do so, but the process is a little trickier. Freeze the cupcakes uncovered for 1 hour, or until the frosting seems solid and no longer sticky. Insert a toothpick through the top of the frosting and the cupcake, then tightly wrap the entire thing in plastic wrap. 3. Store for 2 to 4 months. Place the packaged cupcakes in your freezer and use them within 2 or 3 months. Under the right conditions, some unfrosted cupcakes may last for up to 6 months, but leaving them in your freezer for that long is not recommended. 4. Thaw before eating. Roughly 2 or 3 hours before planning to eat the cupcake, remove it from the freezer and place it in your refrigerator. During the last 30 minutes, remove the cupcake from the refrigerator and let it continue thawing on the kitchen counter or table. Alternatively, you can skip the refrigerator and thaw the cupcake entirely at room temperature. Pull it out of the freezer 1 to 2 hours before you intend to eat it when using this option. Loosen or remove any wrappings once the cupcake sits out on the countertop. Doing so should help prevent condensation from building. Things. Airtight containers. Plastic wrap. Freezer, safe plastic bags.